Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 6 American cruiser, Cleveland. She has 35,200 health, a speed of 32.5 knots, 12 152mm guns, 12 secondary guns, a surface detect of 12.9 kilometers, and 53 AA defense rating. For the modules, we have reduced crit chance on main armament, improved accuracy, reduce the chance of flood and fire, faster rudder shift. For my commander, basic survivability, expert marksman, superintendent, and demolition expert. We're on the map Trident, and it's the Cleveland! You're playing the Cleveland! I know. They've hurt this ship a lot. I look forward to when this ship is buffed back up to what it should be when they introduce the supplementary line of the primary U.S. cruiser line. Whenever that happens, I am assuming the release schedule is as follows. British light cruisers, the Japanese submarines, the four that are going to be in the alterations, obviously. Then we will get the German destroyer line, and then after that, we should see the U.S. cruiser line, or the 4 or 5 ships that they're going to introduce to fix it. Hopefully. I'm really hoping they fix it, because the U.S. cruiser line is by far the weakest cruiser line. There is no contest. Its special trait isn't so special anymore. The Russians do a great job. The Germans do a great job with AA. That cannot be a trait, a special trait. Okay, that's not special. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, I am in, of course, a light cruiser, 152mm guns. For anyone who cares, I'm going to engage enemy destroyers and try and kill them. Kill them very, very effectively. This enemy Farragut has moved into the center of the map. He's detected by a friendly. I'm trying to support him. Ooh, he took one on the nose. That's pretty good. We just nick him. 150? Okay, good. 106 hit points. The friendly was able to take him out. He was actually a destroyer that shoots his guns. In the stream, I was in a destroyer. He was in a destroyer. We were fighting against one another around B point on New Dawn. The player decided, you know what? I'm a Japanese destroyer. Japanese destroyers do not fire the guns, ever. Granted, I have 2,000 hit points. He could smoke me in 2 salvos. But no. They use their torpedoes. Don't you know the torpedoes are the only way Japanese destroyers kill other targets? Yes. So I whittled him down with my gun. I also sent my torpedoes. They didn't hit. Shockingly, his didn't hit either. And we killed him. He had a 6 to 8k health advantage, and we killed him. Please fire your guns. If a target is low, if you feel like you can take him out, fire those guns. Now, I didn't want to pull a Notser here, but I am using a technique that only really American cruisers can do. Fire pretty close. I mean, pretty close to islands, and I'm trying to set the target on fire. I believe he has gone through fire. He's put the fire out, become immune, and now we have relight the target. He has at least 2 fires from my ship, and you can see in the top right corner, confirm we are indeed doing damage to the enemy, and it's about 6,000 to 7,000, not 6,000 to 7,000, 6,000 to 700 every second or so. So that's great damage, and he can't stop it. But I don't want to deal with the West. The West is really, really scary. Look how many enemies are over there. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe an 8th-ish. We have an aircraft carrier, of course. And we have a neutral 9th. That's a lot of enemies. I can't take that. So as I move towards the center, I'm trying to support the destroyer. His goals, capture B. 2-to-1 advantage. It would force the enemy team to overextend, and then we can punish, right? I keep talking about this every single stream. When I get in a scenario like this, people are like, go attack! Why aren't you attacking? I don't need to do anything. We have 2 bases to their 1. They will eventually lose if they don't do something. And that's when they usually make a mistake, right? So we fired. It's not easy to hit targets by any stretch of the imagination in the Cleveland. Its velocity is somewhere between absolutely crap and total. It's really bad. It's really bad. So we're going to engage a New York. And it looks like he is pretty stationary. It looks like he did not want to move into B. I don't blame him. But since he's stationary, we can do massive damage to him. Light fires on the ship. Are the ship fires actually sticking? They are indeed. That is fantastic. That's going to be a lot of extra damage. If they stay, I think they're still there. Just confirm, confirm. No, they are not. He has put the fire out. I don't even need to look at the ship. You can see that the damage ticker is not going up every so often. And I was trying to extend the time I could engage the target without having to go all the way around the island. It slows you down. Everyone knows that, right? Yeah, right, Notser. Well, apparently everyone doesn't know how to detect sarcasm, because I can't believe how many of you actually thought for a split second that I would suggest that Valve doesn't make software. They've never made a game in their life. You guys need to put on a little bit more detective work. You got to read into stuff like, there is no way that Valve has ever released software, ever. I mean, it's just so thick with extreme exaggeration, right? I mean, I would never suggest that a game company has ever made games, ever. I mean, stuff like that. That's an extreme sarcastic moment for Americans. And it reads exactly like that to most Americans. So just use my speech patterns as a learning tool. I really do try and... I am an American. I mimic what I see, what I hear. Techniques, all that stuff. I tell you about culture, all that stuff. While we're doing this, of course, we're engaging the Cleveland. Now, I decided, on my own, I know, to capture B. I could have ignored it. I could have bypassed it, gone to the right side, eastern side, gone around that island, engaged. Instead, I am going to sacrifice maybe 10 seconds of gun cooldown to confirm B is indeed captured. That's the only way the enemy team could possibly come back, is if we don't put the foot down whenever we have the advantage, and the enemy Cleveland is taken out. Good job, team. Didn't really contribute that much, but we are going to assist in the capture of B. Now, the enemy team is running off my friendly over by A point, and I need to try and intercept. Now, there is a Cleveland. He's going to be showing his perfect broadside to my Cleveland. There is only one Cleveland here, my friend. Only one. And right now I have HE loaded, but you can't pass up a perfect broadside, right? There is a threat, obviously, that there could be a destroyer out here. Last known position for the single destroyer that exists on their team is somewhere to the south, and we are indeed detected. So we know right off the bat the destroyer is somewhere within my detection ring, which, granted, it's pretty large, I'd say. Just a bit. Yeah, it's a little ridiculous for U.S. cruisers. So we fire, only do 1,800. The Cleveland is angling. So after I let off another salvo, I decide, let's go back to HE. Not really ideal. Plus, when is the enemy going to show up? The enemy destroyer. And here come the torpedoes. Okay. Don't want to run into the island. We're going to have to deal with this one. How am I going to get past? I think I have enough speed, but I'm not quite sure. So as soon as I'm comfortable getting around the island, I sort of kick out the ship so we can make sure that we fully avoided the torpedoes. But I know there's an enemy destroyer out there, and he is indeed detected by the friendly aircraft carrier. But I am taking a lot of damage from Dr. Dirt. Boy, Dr. Dirt, what kind of name is that in a ship combat game? We are surrounded by tons and tons of water. It's sort of like being a doctor at a dentist office of feet or hands or a back. It just doesn't really make sense. But nobody's gonna judge his journey. Maybe he really likes dirt. Maybe dirt is his favorite material in the world, and he has to express it by being a doctor of it. Either way, he's certainly a doctor of dodging. He has mastered this. This guy is far more skilled than a tier 6 player. He is very comfortable dodging around. Now, I'm going to try eventually to spread the shots out. Notice the single shot, okay? While I'm doing this, I'm trying to get as close to the kamikaze R as I can. I don't want the Bogue to die. I mean, it's okay if he dies, but I would really prefer if he doesn't. He is an aircraft carrier on my team. If he was on the other team, who cares? And we nick the kamikaze R. Not particularly what I'd like to do, and we get a little bit more damage, but he will indeed torpedo the friendly to death. And I'm still taking damage from Dr. Dirt. Dr. Dirt, can you leave me alone for 1 second? I'm going to try and intercept the enemy destroyer, but that requires that I show a perfect broadside in order to turn back around the island. If I can get around the island, I can engage the target 1 versus 1. I don't have to worry about anyone else. So I'm going to take the risk. Every time he fires, I'm going to make sure I have angle, but eventually I'm going to work around the turn. And at some point, he might miss the location. We are doing damage to him. We are setting fires. It is working out in our favor. He is a little distracted. There are multiple people engaging him. It is an advantage. I mean, how many things can I list off, okay? He's got to deal with someone on his flank. He's not going to be as effective as he once was. Someone does a big damage. I get the kill, though. Fires are for the win, right? Now, for a little bit, the aircraft was detecting the destroyer. Clearly, he is not anymore. The last known position of the destroyer is right in front of me. And he is indeed using his smoke. So I pop my hydroacoustic. We see it right off the bat. We know exactly where those torpedoes are. But I want to see the enemy destroyer. I want to kill him. In the game sense, okay? I want to take him down. In a game. It's all fun and games, okay? Until we take him. We eliminate the target from the game. Come on, show yourself. Ah, there he is as he tries to escape the aircraft. It reveals his location. So that first shot was not as good as I would have liked, but we still nicked him for 1,000. You know, at least we did something. This one should be a lot better. He's showing a perfect broadside. Clearly, he sent torpedoes. We do 2,200. Not bad at all. I think we set another fire, and it is sticking. Not going to do a lot of damage. That looks pretty good, too. It is indeed 1,500. Here are the torpedoes. 20 more seconds of hydro. And he's flattening out again. Very obvious torpedo. He's probably going to send another set or 2. But we take him out. He could have gotten them out. Probably got them out. I'm just going to go neutral, just to make sure. Hydro is not going to be there all the way. Yep, and Hydro is done. He did indeed get 1 out. I think he only got 1 out. We've got 2 enemies left. We have a Zuiho, and we have a battleship going against another battleship. It kind of looks like they're going to ram. And I'm saying to myself, it kind of looks like they're going to ram in-game. It's a Koenig and a New York. And I would love to catch it, but the island's in the way, so you're not going to really see it. But, yep, they indeed ram each other. Ah, yes, the joy of not having to guarantee your life. You just need to have fun, right? And I think I'll have a lot of fun if I could take out the enemy aircraft carrier, so I give a really big lead. I do walk it in, probably a mistake here, but we do nick him for a Citadel, 3,600. And you notice when I walked in the shell, it's not leading enough, so we gotta aim it correctly, Notser. He's about 9 seconds out. It is a Japanese, so he's probably going about 30 knots. So it should be 1-to-1. And it does indeed look like we will hit the target, and it's enough to kill him. Good job. So it's a little awkward to use the Cleveland at times. I will admit it's not the easiest, but she can do pretty good work. We got 3 kills, 78,000 points of damage, 1,779 base XP, no medals. Most of my damage, HE, about 22,000 in fires. It's good at setting fires on pretty much everything. I hope it was fun to see the Cleveland. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.